my little biography. Louder. Laughter, humor, and jokes have always been important to me. I think my father was the influence. He liked jokes and used to write down any that he thought especially funny in a tiny notebook. He would have then a ready supply to tell at any upcoming meeting or convention. He grew up in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, so he was familiar with the cities in upstate New York. One joke that I remember involved a man dictating a letter to his secretary. He ends it saying, "And tell him I'll meet him in Schenectady." The secretary asks, "How do you spell Schenectady?" He replies, S-K-N, no, S-C-H-N, oh hell, tell him I'll meet him in Albany. Ottawa is a long way from California, but my mother and my father my mother was from Seattle, Washington, and they met in San Francisco. They married and moved to Southern California to some place a survey said was an ideal spot, Pasadena, California. I was born there and attended a wonderful school called Polytechnic. It began in kindergarten and continued through the 9th grade. One of my passions during grade school was collecting stamps. I liked that they were small, colorful, and had an exact place waiting for them in an album. It also appealed to my desire to have items orderly and organized. Traditionally, the 9th grade produced a play. Our beloved drama teacher told us she felt our class was mature enough to handle the play Our Town. I was lucky to get the part of Emily, and I cherish the memory. Those of us who were fortunate enough to be at Poly, as we call our school, the whole 10 years are called lifers. I still keep in touch with many of those classmates. We are all turning 80 this year. After graduating from Poly, I completed the next 3 years of high school. When the subject of college came up, my father, who was extremely frugal, said that there is a perfectly good, actually quite highly rated, junior college in Pasadena, and it's free. I didn't even apply to another institution. I thoroughly enjoyed my time at Pasadena City College, where I took every art course I could. I then continued to USC, where I majored in art. Fight on! I had hoped to embark on an exciting career in advertising or some related commercial endeavor. I carted my portfolio all over Los Angeles, but was never even offered a job. An interior designer in Pasadena somehow contacted me, and I ended up working for him, producing presentation boards with floor plans and colorful swatches of fabric for various offices he was designing. I happened to run into a couple of fellow USC art graduates and learned that they were earning 3 times what I was, doing social work. I was dumbfounded. I said, "We don't know anything about social work." They said, "It doesn't matter. You have any college degree, you just take a civil service exam, and you're hired." As a young, naive, white girl from the suburbs, I received a bizarre further education as a social worker in South Central Los Angeles, encountering pitiful single mothers along with angry Black Panthers. Later, my background in art was discovered, and I was transferred to a planning office, turning out posters, brochures, charts, and graphs. This was a most rewarding time for me. I met my husband, Marty, on St. Patrick's Day in an Irish pub. The rest, as they say, is history. Yep. We moved from a Waterview apartment in Marina del Rey to Thousand Oaks. We raised our 2 daughters, Shannon and Bridget, in a house with the smallest kitchen I had ever seen. We all survived nonetheless and happily shared countless meals that were produced there. I will conclude my remarks by confessing that I recently realized I was becoming addicted to the hokey pokey. But thankfully, I turned myself around.